Mike, Mike, Mike.
Man, you didn't have to get up early this morning. You got up anyways, didn't you?
Oh, the hell with that! That don't even start the show by putting me on tilt because I did get up early. I got up
You
at
got to
3:30.
read the fine print, son. You got to read the
One
fine
eye
print.
open, and I bring up my phone, open up Dazen. There ain't nobody on. Then I bring up the what do you call it?
Schedule.
The schedule, and then I see not till 6 a.m. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, isn't that great? So and of
That's why they
course
call it dogging it.
I can't go back to sleep at that point because then I'm already up. So
Yeah.
anyhow, big day, Mike. You ought to
Yes.
be you're real happy, I'm sure today.
Why is that?
Well, you got another American through the Final Four. Not another American, the consistent American. The guy I said was the best American, but I digress before we get into that. Let's start with the beginning of the day, Mike. Final 16. What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways? What were the surprises?
Uh, well, a couple surprises. You know, uh, Watching Albin go down the way he did was a surprise. He fought back. He was down early, fought back, took the lead, and then Labutus came back. I think he was up 9-6 or 9-7, right? 9-6 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he was up
And
pretty.
then
Albin was up pretty good, I thought.
yeah, and then
Like
it got
he was
to
down like five. Albin was up like 5-0. I thought to start the
right.
match. I could be wrong, but
And then we he had ball in hand at 9-8 leading, and didn't leave himself a hard shot on the six. I thought he played the cue ball where he
it was
wanted to play it.
perfect.
It
He
was
was
perfect,
perfect.
and he
Whatever you
just
want to do, you can come two rails. You can
yeah
go inside with three rails. Whatever you want to do.
he ended up hitting it really soft, and it didn't go down, and he just looked like he wanted to look for the nearest bridge. Because we know Albin can go tilt sometimes too, right? That was his
A
old
la Dennis
reputation.
Sprague. Yes, yes,
Our
yes,
buddy
yes,
Dennis, the
yes.
bridge jumper.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Dennis has got a map all over the world of the nearest
yeah,
bridges
the
in the
nearest and
earth.
tallest.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, no. So that was a real shocker to watch Albin lose like that.
Was it more
Um,
credit to Pius or Albin going down in that spot?
well, I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, give Pius credit for coming back. He ran a couple of big racks when he was down 9-6, 9-7 to give himself a chance, and then he ran
Also
out
ran
at the
the fast
hill.
break as well, Mike.
So yeah, so good for him. I did not see that coming from him at all for sure. Um, so he's won a couple good matches to get where he was. Now he's got Federer. So or he next round, right?
Or Federer
So
has him, depending on how you look at it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
that was kind of a surprise. I didn't expect Huang, the Vietnamese kid, to run over Sanjin like he did. I mean, we talked about that yesterday, and he beat him pretty solidly. So
I mean,
the big
Huang's
takeaways for me were uh, Federer and Sky
yeah,
in
without a
the in the
doubt.
round of 16. In the round of 16.
I'll start with Federer because I thought that match was the one that I was looking to forward the most. I thought that Sanjin and Huang match was going to be more or less on par with the scoreline 10-5. It's not. It's just what I've seen of Huang over the last 2 years. Sanjin, he's great to be in the final 32, great to be in the maybe 64 range, but we haven't seen that next step from him, and it's time for sure.
Yeah.
On the note of Federer, like I said, I really love that matchup. That Martial kid is the real deal, but he just could never get any traction. And it's a credit to Federer's break and Federer's execution once he's got an open layout. He did not look like the same Federer that we saw lose to Tyler at the U.S. Open. He did not look like the same Federer that we've seen the other time, most recently on a matchroom stage either, Mike. He looks very comfortable out there, and he's going to be he's probably the guy to beat now at this point.
Well, he certainly can be pretty heavy favorite over Labutus, and
Three
uh,
games, I guess, Mike, at a minimum.
probably about three. Okay,
Yeah,
and then he would get the winner of. Let's see.
that's putting you in the final four then, and you'd probably get the winner of Yanni. Oh no, Mark
No,
and
yeah, Bisterbach and Huang.
yeah,
So
he's
things are
sitting
looking
real
pretty
good
rosy for Federer right now. If
for
his
Federer.
if
He's
his
looking
break and his
really
his
good.
game stays on point, he could be in a final. And This is the matchroom stage. We've been waiting to see him play this kind of, way on a matchroom stage. You know, excited, not trying anything away from him, but played a top 10 guy in this tournament. So um,
Oh, you mean
had
is the draw being a little soft? Is that what you're saying for Federer?
yeah, I'm gonna say. I mean, these guys are all really good. I mean, Lewis didn't get there by accident, and Dennis Gray, Maciel beat Jason Shaw. So these are guys who can play and can win, but you're still not looking at a top 10. He hasn't had Skyler taken down Ko or something like that. So waiting to see, he could get to the final without really having a top 10 guy to face.
Well, that was like what Filler did at the European, or was it the UK Open? I think last year. His draw was pretty rosy, but that's the benefit of continuing to win. And
Right.
and at the same
And
time
who you
being
play, you
seeded.
have no control over. I mean,
Right,
someone
absolutely not.
like this
And
guy, Labutus knocked off, or Maciel had knocked off Jason Shaw. That's not Federer's fault. So
well, at the same time, there was some guys who I would consider underrated. Wayne Can and Daniel Maciel are pretty close to the top of that list for me in this tournament for sure. So I get it from like a top 10 standpoint, but let the other side of the coin is eight out of the top 10 didn't even crack whatever it was final
yeah, no,
16.
that's yeah.
So
Like they didn't get there. So
right.
it is like I said, it's taking nothing away from him. You can only play the guy that they send to your table. So
And Federer, when he's Federer like, can make a lot of great guys look pretty remedial.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's what he's doing so far in this event for everyone that he has had in front of him. He's handled his business. I'm with you that I expect him to dice up Pius, and I also expect him to breeze through whoever it is that he faces after that, whether it's Bosch who can't get out of his own way or Huang. So I
Who can
expect
get out of Beaster Bash's way?
yeah, exactly. Right. So we shall, and this is if a guy like Mark right now failing to cross the finish line. Listen, it's only going to get ratcheted up when you have a guy
Yeah.
who's a
Yeah,
killer
no, this is
across
not
from
a
you
good
in Federer.
this is not a good thing for Beasterbash to have in his head going into tomorrow morning. He would have loved to have rolled over, Wong and gone to bed feeling real positive. But if he's playing three cushion at the end of that match, and even if he gets over the line, he's going to be dreaming about that tonight. So,
Huang
um,
just drilled a jump shot with position at 9-7, and he's got
really,
a little bit of work to do, but he's at the
things
table
getting
right now.
dicey. Good, good.
Well,
Well,
it's Mark had a chance. He had three balls left to close them out and did not get there. So,
yeah,
the drama is not over with, and it's still going to continue. Kachi's facing Dang right now.
right.
To get to the final four. We
Yeah,
also mentioned Mark and Wong battling it out right now as well. So,
right.
but continuing on, Mike, through the final 16 that we started the day with. You
Skyler
mentioned
against
the
Cledio. That was an interesting matchup, and the kid hung with them at the beginning.
midway through,
Um,
Mike. He was
yeah, it was
halfway.
it was
Yeah,
3-3, 4-4, whatever it was, um, and it looked like he wasn't ready, but he missed some shots, played some pretty poor safes, did a couple things. You wonder at what point did the nerves start to creep into him.
he was
He
pressed.
doesn't show it. He's like Eklund. He doesn't really show a lot of that. Some guys they wear it all over their face. Our buddy Victor,
Yeah, but you're
but
well, yeah, yeah. But at the same
but
time, your choices in shots can show it, Mike. Not
yeah, no,
just
there's yeah,
not
no
just
doubt
rubbing
about
the
it.
hands on the towel, that kind of deal.
Right, right. So it looked like he was a little less confident as he had been in those matches leading up to that, and Sky looked like he was just gaining momentum. And Sky,
Well,
second
that's
half of the match just put the wood to him, and boy, did
I
he
mean
carry over that momentum! Holy cow!
I think from 5-5, Sky's won 15 racks straight, including 10-0 win over Copenhagen, to make it into the semifinals. Which
With
again,
probably a
like you mentioned,
half dozen breaking runs in there in the co-match,
you
right?
I've said it before, that going back to Derby City, which was a break similar to this, I know they incorporated a 3-point rule, but Sky's break in this type of format is very dangerous and very lethal when he's got it dialed in. For many, many years, I thought he was probably maybe one to three best breakers in this format on earth, and there's been a lot of questions when it comes to his work ethic and things like that. But listen, you have back-to-back Final Fours in a major. I think that conversation of being the best American for my money is already, done, said, and over with. And you had a pretty interesting question that you messaged me on the way on
we'll
on the way
save
home.
that for the we'll save that for the end of the show.
All right, we'll save it. Continuing
Maybe
on,
we'll
Mike
just post
Kopinyi
it up.
makes yeah, Kopinyi makes work of Naoki Oi. Ko early on did not look very good, or I don't know if it was just Oi getting through it, but boy, did the wheels fall off of that match fast and
Yeah,
early, Mike.
it did. It did. Yeah, Oi didn't look like he really had a whole lot going for him, and Kopeny kind of hit his stride and was very comfortable and confident. It's what we've seen the last couple of tournaments from him. He just, he looks like he's playing really pretty well.
You talking about Oi?
No, no, Pinyi Ko,
Oh
Big
yeah, I
Ko.
mean he's. I think Mark is gonna sell out. Looks like he sold out. Yeah,
Mark sold
yeah,
out.
Mark sold out. Yeah, so 9-7. Yeah. So no, you're absolutely right. Ko's been as you would consider them guys today who have momentum and just like grading their play.
Yeah,
He's in the A+ category along with Kachi,
and
along with Francisco, even though Francisco hasn't been Francisco the last couple of months. But yeah, I mean, Ko, I didn't expect that line when I saw Naoki Oi jump out in front. So Kachi had his hands full with the
yeah,
Portuguese player. I think he
he
was
was down
down
6-2.
something
He was
like that,
down
six
six
two,
two,
six
and
one.
then won 8-1 from there. But we've seen him do that before, right? We saw him do it against Fran in the World 10 ball. He doesn't. He's never flustered. He's never out of a match.
Mike,
Oh,
oh,
what do we got?
shit. Timeout. My phone went off. Hold on a second. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me still, Mike?
I can hear you.
All right, hold on a second. Let me just. I got a call, and
Anybody want me
so
to
this
tell a
is the perfect
joke?
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, luckily you're well versed in how to handle these type of situations. So, uh, anyhow, we'll continue on. As long as you guys can hear me, then it's all good.
Yeah,
Um, I've been trying to get Sky, so it was a friend of mine from QTech who was hitting me up. So hopefully that's news that maybe we can get Sky. Dang takes down Emil, who was kind of the flavor of the day after taking
yeah,
down a lot
filler.
of big names on that bottom side of the bracket.
Yeah, no, Dang, I just haven't gotten to see him a lot, but he's from what I have seen, he breaks like a monster and runs the balls pretty well. He led throughout that match against Emil, but good finish for him.
Well,
Final 16.
it's an interesting matchup because I said how great guys are playing today, and Kachi being at the top of that list. Dang was playing pretty solid, and I know that he
Yeah,
let Emil. That scoreline to me wasn't reflective of how dominating that I thought Dang was. But the problem is that he left a lot on the table. Now, if you can continue to get comfortable and have opportunities, and you follow through with what you got, then it's no issue because you're gonna go and win pretty convincingly. He is the epitome of the unknown to most fans. But like I said from the beginning, once I saw his match with Sky, I think it was day one or day two of this event. He was a guy I had my eye on, and it was
yeah,
for a good reason. Let me see here. So we're gonna try to get Sky on. It looks like he's going out to dinner with Shane and Tyler right now. So just keep your notifications on, the windows open, and we will try to set that up here in the next couple hours. So moving on, Mike, to the round of eight. The story, without a doubt, was that of Sky Woodward. Is that right, Mike?
yeah. I mean, geez, and you feel bad for Cole. I mean, you go out there, you get pasted every once in a while, but Cole made the final eight in the UK Open, right? And
Right.
Filler Filler threw like a 9-1 or a 10-1 at him. Played an almost perfect match, and then he comes in today into the quarterfinals against Sky and gets a shutout pitched at him. So not a lot of you can say about him. It was all Sky Woodward, break and run 5-6 times in that match. He was steamrolling. he's got to feel if he can, you know, harness that break again tomorrow and get the looks he was getting. You know, he's a pretty good shot.
Well, there's a few guys that can wear their momentum on their sleeve, and Sky for me wears his momentum on his feet because if you watch him play and you watch him play with any kind of regularity, you'll know that once Sky gets going, he starts dancing around the table. It reminds me of, the Hustler, right, where they talk about that fat man, just moving around, and that's
Floats
what
around a
Sky
bit, yeah,
does. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's
It,
I think that there's it's when expectation meets execution for Sky, and this is where we're at. We all like. There's been a lot of talk of him being, a 1A type player, an elite of the elite type player, but he don't have the hardware that these guys have. That
no, he
and that
doesn't.
and that and that's not disrespecting the man. That's just facts, right?
Right.
But when you start taking down guys like Kopinyi 10-0 on a TV table on a
Right.
matchroom stage, oh, here we go. And this is what we all think that he could do, and now he's doing it, Mike. It was amazing match by Sky
It
Williams.
was an amazing match, and our girl Jenny Ann mentioned that he played great safeties too, and he did. He when he had to tie Co up, he left him pretty knotted up, and he threw that one little
Well, it's
nice
part of
little
control. Like it's what big guys do. It's what Kachi does. It's what Chua did to Filler. It's not just being able to run from the break. It's making smart choices,
right.
playing the all around game, and executing.
Yeah,
And Sky, as much as people can knock about all the different games in America, and it can be kind of a pun outside of the U.S. Let me tell you, there's a lot of games that have been very valuable to Sky's success. It's like
yeah.
playing banks the way that he does, or playing one pocket, or
One
whatever.
pocket, yeah, yeah.
That really makes him quite the out. Mark's at the table, jacked up on the four ball. He did not dog the four ball. He's got four balls left to put away the Vietnamese star Huang. So we'll see
What's the
if
score? 9-8.
9-8, 9-8. Yeah, yeah. And so if he
9-8.
dogs it, it's going to be 9-9 with Huang Doggin. So uh, we shall see what happens.
No,
He's four balls away.
I loved the even with a 9-0 lead in that last rack, Sky thought it was a smart play to duck, and he stuck the cue ball to I think the four ball or something like that.
Yeah.
And he just walked over and looked over at Tyler and Shane, who were sitting in the first row, and they all just kind of laughed. Like he just, he because he had left a jump shot for Cole the previous safe, and Cole jumped it in because that's what Cole does. But I think he was kind of smart because he wasn't going to leave him a jump shot this time. What happened? What happened to our buddy Mark?
Mark got a little funny. Mark got a little funny. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but he ain't out of the woods yet. You're right, Mike. I think it's a credit to just um, the maturity in your game. The younger he just drilled a 7 ball bank, so we'll see what happens. The maturity in your game. There's a lot of guys who are when they're young, they're fearless and they don't know any better, right? Because they've just
Right.
been used to putting balls in the hole, for so long that they may even if you make
Tomorrow
it,
is
it
happening
doesn't
right now.
necessarily make it the right shot. Does that make sense, Mike? And I feel like that those type of decisions are what you have to do to put away a guy like Cole because Cole is a guy who can make you sit down for quite a
For a
bit.
good long while, yeah. Yeah.
And he just butchered the 8 ball. So unbelievable drama on the side table. He just butchered the 8 ball, and the wheels have completely came off the track. So,
So really, if
um,
you're Federer at this point, you want to see Beasterbotch cross the line, right? You-
what do you think, Mike? What do
I
you?
think I want to see him win at this point because I know where I can put him tomorrow, and he'll go right out the window.
And it's about to be hill because he just put away the 8 ball. Yeah, Federer is praying that Mark gets through because Huang is a dangerous guy. Without question, he's a dangerous individual.
and if
So,
this is sitting in Mark Beasterbotch's head all night, it was yeah.
well, he's been sitting on 9 for quite a bit. Huang drilled a bank shot to get into it. And then he's had at least 2 shots to run out racks that I've seen in the last 30 minutes and has not been able to get through. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna do, man? Some guys are just made for big moments. Some guys aren't. So, anyhow, continuing on, Federer plays Labutus. I don't, I don't think I don't know who's gonna pick Pius. No, I'm not trying to, you know, be disrespectful about it, but Federer's playing on a whole other level right now, Mike. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable what I
yeah,
saw. So,
yeah.
um, all right, let's pick him and then we'll get out of here because I got to sweat the rest of this, Mike. I know it's a quick show, but it's this is putting me on tilt over here.
Yeah, I guess it is. Where are we at with Kachi and Dang?
I see it as I haven't even been watching that, but it shows 1-0 on the
1-0. Yeah,
if you're watching
sounds
from the
right.
Matchroom scoreboard that
Yeah,
they have. So with Dan and Kachi stole one for sure. I know he caught momentum at the end, but it's he did not look sharp early on. That's putting it real mildly. I mean, I saw him miss a 9 ball, very like Gary Wilson esque, and where it just had me completely scratching my head, Mike. Where I couldn't believe that those were the type of misses that we're seeing from Kachi at this point. But you know what? One thing that I have heard about that arena, Mike, is that it's real hot in there. I've
real
heard that.
humid. The humidity, they
Well,
said, is a big
yeah,
factor.
but I've also heard the temperature in there
Well, you can tell that by
is
looking at the
hot.
players. They're all sweating at the forehead. They're all dabbing down their face and neck, and this guy toweling off underneath his shirt. That's that's tough.
Oh, golden break. No golden break. Sorry, but he does have a shot on the 2 ball, and everything looks to be
Is
the
is
four
the
balls a
nine
little funny.
hanging?
No. It looked like
Okay.
it was going to go in though. I mean, it looked it came across the face of the three and then ended up going short.
Boy,
So,
could you imagine Alvin and Biesterbatch fighting over that bridge? And
well, which one? Yeah, but Albin's you expect Albin to close because Albin's a
yeah,
closer. That's just what he does, Mike. That
yeah,
like there's a massive difference between the two, like the two classes of player. I think Albin's been in what like 5 world championship finals in the last like 12 years or something, or
yeah.
11 years, something like that. So, all right, this is the shot. If you guys are watching, I think it's on Matchroom Pool's YouTube channel. If you guys aren't watching it, but um, Huang's got some work. His walk kind of puts me on tilt, Mike. He walks like
Give the guy a
he
break.
he walks like he's into a room that he's never been before. He just looks lost out there, and all of a sudden the balls just seem to go in the hole. Let's see
Is
what
he
he's gonna
playing
do.
safe on the three here?
I think so. He sure is.
Well,
It's
he
the
did a nice
right shot.
job.
Yeah,
He did a
it's
nice
without a doubt.
job, just as long as it doesn't get tied up. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah, Mark's
kids.
Mark's
thanks,
Dunzo, that's for sure.
thanks for sticking with us while we watch TV.
Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty brutal. Anyhow, Mike, what else you got before we get out of here?
You want to throw everybody on tilt?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Okay, we're going to throw a question up on Windows Open. And here's the question: when was the last time an American not named Shane Van Boening won a major title? And I mean a major title. I'm not
So,
talking, don't
so
sell me.
we're not talking Texas Opens here.
We're not talking Texas Opens. We're not talking Turning Stone. We're talking a significant title. Derby City 9 ball. That's I don't consider that a major, but it's relatively close in field. But I'd like to know what everybody's opinion is on who is the last American not named Shane Van Boening to win a major title.
Do, do you at least have the answer to this? By the way, Huang's got ball in hand here on the 3 ball now. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends. Like I said, I'm not going to include turning stones because there was a lot of that. John Schmidt won the World Tournament of 14.1, the Straight Bull Tournament in
is
2012.
is that a Charlie 14.1?
It is, but back then
Okay,
it
we're
was
not
a
we're not.
really good field. It was all the best European players, all the top straight pool players. Um, you know,
Oh,
uh,
oh, we got action, Mike. He's gonna go. I think he's gonna go for a 4-9 combo.
we got Rodney Morris win the U.S. Open 10 ball in 2013.
You guys can watch that here. I'm gonna put it on here. I'm gonna watch
Okay.
along with you guys here. Let's see. It
Nope.
stayed up. It stayed up, Mike. It stayed up. It looks like it's in the hole too, and it is in the hole. And I'd be surprised if Mark can cue the ball at all. Huang's on tilt with his hands in his head. Huang's looking like Kazakis right now, looking up at the sky. Unbelievable drama. I can already hear Carl Boyce and his very
Ashley, I
European.
will agree with you. Straight pool is not going to count if Derby doesn't.
Okay,
But
hold on a
Derby,
second.
I would only talk about the 9 ball. I wouldn't talk about any other event.
He made it, and he got over, and Federer celebrates along with the rest of guys if you're rooting for Team Federer. He got there, Mike. Unbelievable finish to that match between Wong and Mark Biesterbosch. Wow, wow, drama.
Wow, that
No,
was yeah,
that had me sweating, Mike. I'm on the edge of my seat here. Now
that was
I can do a show for another 30 more minutes, not for that.
that was a tough one. That was a tough one. Long looked like he hit that long combination pretty good, and
Hey, so if we're not, I just got a text from a real good friend who's watching. Team Q Tech is he mentioned Sky's Derby City 9 ball, but you're saying Derby's not counting, right?
you know, I don't
You've
count
been the
Derby
one to
as a
say that
major.
Derby is
I've
not
been
a
the one who
major.
says, yeah, I've been the one who says Derby 9 ball is not a major when you look at the whole scope of majors. But
But then,
the truth is that there really aren't there really weren't a lot of 9 ball majors that had big international
so we're
fields in
only
the U.S. for the last 10 years outside of the international and the U.S. Open.
Kremlin
So,
Cup, Opie, Tyler.
well, Kremlin Cup, that's kind of glorified turning stone derby.
There are a lot
That
of
wasn't a big money tournament. There weren't a lot of players from it wasn't the toughest field in the world. But
What do you mean,
yeah, I
Mike? It was in
noticed.
the heart of all the top European players were there.
I have to look at that. I did not think the that was the same as winning like
Okay,
one of these events, right? But yeah, so I mean, just to see how everybody
so
ranks
the
them and how
jury's
everybody
out.
looks
The
at it.
jury's
Yeah,
out. So
the jury's out. So tell me what you think. I mean,
what we're okay,
you can
but
go
then
back to
the list of majors has
John
been growing,
Schmidt
Mike.
won the U.S. Open 9 ball. What was that like? 2008,
Well,
2006. John Schmidt won the U.S. Open 9 ball. Right, so
is
we're
that
talking a long time that that major title. Uh, Derby City 9 balls close. Kremlin Cup. I have to take a look and see who was in that field. I did not. It didn't look like
if
the
I
top
remember
Euro
right?
Tour field to me.
He
But
faced David Alcady in the finals of that
I
event. I
think you're
could be
right.
wrong.
I
Yeah,
think you're right.
yeah. Um,
So
a guy not named Shane. Well, we know how decorated SVB has been, and this is what I like. Look, I'm not saying that what Sky still has to win here or win somewhere like we all think he can,
yeah,
right? But I still, even if he doesn't win, would still say that he's the best American because before Shane wins that world championship title, I don't remember what Shane had won, in a cold minute, Mike. It had been a little while, you know.
yeah, it'd been a few years to win the U.S. Open,
Right. Yeah.
and yeah, yeah.
Well, I
But it's a good
there's
question.
no
I mean, I have to go scouring through records to kind of check on a couple of these things too, and then everybody's going to have their own opinion about what constitutes a major. I'll have mine. We'll see where it falls. But
well, I can name
weigh
a
in on
list
it.
of guys that Sky's playing better than right now. On if that outside of like the Franz and Kachi, there Sky, you get into back to
No,
back Final Fours
he's
of majors.
hundred
You know,
percent, 100%.
like
I mean, I'd like to know the last time other than Fran, last time guys were in back-to-back Final Fours. Period. So
well,
yes,
I mean, guys not
Sky.
named Albin or Josh or
Yeah,
Fran or even
he's in pretty special company these days, and he's playing at that level. And listen, nobody wants to see Sky win more than everybody here, me included. So would love to.
well,
That would be just that would be huge.
he's gonna have confidence going into it. And like I mentioned
Yes,
yesterday, he's had a lot of success in big moments. He thrives when pressure's at his highest. He's one of the few people, in the sport that does not get down when he's down. He's one of the few people that no matter where he's at, he's gonna have the same disposition and demeanor. He's gonna
right.
look the exact same, and that's part of why people love Sky as well. It's because of his attitude and the way that he carries himself.
Yeah,
Um, it's hard not to root for a guy like that, and I try to keep like the fan part of it out of whenever I look at matches. But watching him just tear through Copigny the way that he did,
oof,
I really want to get behind him, and hopefully at least if nothing else, get to the final. But it's not going to be easy, Mike. It really
No, no,
isn't
it's not going to be easy.
because
But who would you rather have him see him play, Dang or Kachi?
well, he loses to Dang, and that's
Right.
just
I'd
saying
rather
so.
see him play Dang. I'd rather see him play the
Well,
guy he lost to.
and my same buddy also told me that was probably the worst match that Sky's played in quite some time. So what was that particular match with Dang? But like I told you, I think that dude is the real effing deal, Mike. And
I'm sure. I'm
even
sure. I just like.
and
I just like the idea of a top player playing another top player after he lost to him.
well, yeah, I mean, well, be careful what you wish for, because if it ends up being Kachi, then that's gonna leave some like that. That's not gonna be easy,
No,
But
and Kachi beat him at the European. I mean, at the UK Open, right?
like, let me
So
see if I can highlight this. Although it'll probably move us around. There we
he
go.
goes to both.
Actually,
He does own both
yeah,
in the
yeah.
ass whooping. So
If
yeah, bring them both
if
on. Listen,
Sky if
how
Sky
cool would
beats
a
Kachi,
yeah.
are they gonna call him the Kachi Killer? Is that gonna be the new nickname? Because he beats little brother and then he comes back and
He's going to
and
be
beats big
persona
brother,
non grata in Albania. I know that.
or bigger brother and big brother, whatever you want to call him.
But and I would love. How would you love to see Sky against Federer in the final?
That
That would be
isn't
pretty
isn't
juicy.
that not the isn't that
That would
not
be a
the
pretty juicy final.
isn't that not like the dream matchup that you're looking for right now, Mike?
Yeah,
Out of all of them, right? Federer versus Sky is the matchup that majority of pool fans want to see. If again, we're getting ahead of ourselves because Federer ain't in the final four yet. No, we expect him to win
and
comfortably
yeah,
against Pius,
yeah.
but uh, and I really love him against Mark. I mean, if anyone in the Netherlands would like to bet, please hit me up because I would love. Yeah, I would I would love to get that even action for sure. But yeah, it's that's the sexy matchup. I
yeah.
don't want to be rude to anybody, but a Mark versus Dang final ain't what Matchroom is rooting for.
It'll
You
give
know,
me Sunday off.
oh for sure, yeah, shipping it in, right? I'm just scoreboard watching at that point. All Q Tech finals, what Ashley says, yeah, and it's two guys who are playing really great, two guys with a lot to prove, and for very different reasons.
It would be a
You know,
final with both of them going for their first, big TV final victory. On
well,
a
Federer's a
matchroom
world
stage.
champion, Mike. Federer's
On a
Federer's
matchroom stage, they said.
on
Yeah.
a matchroom stage. Yeah, I mean that was Qatar, world championship, but
Yeah.
still.
The World Championship Qatar was, it's still World Championship. They're all great players there, but that was no player who was in that would think that was much.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Listen, he beats the Code
2019
brothers,
Kremlin Cup, 118 players. Niels
Neil,
Sky,
Alexa.
FSR,
You're reaching there. Okay, Federer.
Wojciech, Sanjin, Mario He, Conrad, Filler, Feder, Albin.
Kicking
All right,
billiards for the win.
I'll take that. I'll take Kremlin. I didn't realize Kremlin Cup. I didn't remember that
Survey
being that
says
tough a field, but that's
so. Tyler,
I don't. Yeah,
shocking.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Tyler,
it's true.
2019.
Well, listen, we love stories, right? From
Thank you,
being
kicking.
fans to doing this stuff, being a donkey that we love to do, to both being Americans and loving to root for guys that are good guys to root for. And there's plenty of
Yeah,
shitheads in pool, but Sky ain't one of them. So he's the first guy in there and with ease. And like I said, it was pretty shocking because there's no way I would have. I thought going into it, Cole's going to do what Cole does, and Sky just better make the best of his opportunities, and he did that and then some. So, Kachi's down 3-1 and says to Dang. So we shall see, Mike. I would love to see that rematch because I think that
here's
it
what I
was.
remember. Here's what I remember about the Kremlin Cup. It was kind of almost a Derby City type of format where it was all like
Oh,
short
here we
races
go.
and stuff.
Here we go.
It was all like
Here we
short
go.
races and stuff. But the final was a race to 8.
So you're just trying. You're just trying to first your Team USA pom poms, then you
Well,
try
no,
to just throw shade
to
on the
me, no.
Americans.
I'm not. It's a tough call.
You're,
Race
you're
to 8,
quite
man.
you're quite
Race
the
to 8 all
sports
the way
writer,
through.
Mike.
All the way
Well,
through. Race
yeah,
to 8.
nobody gave Tyler respect for that win.
No, right. He
After it
did
was
not
all
get
said
enough
and done,
respect for that win. He did
he
not.
really didn't,
You're right.
and he still really hasn't. But he seems to be stepping up his game. And you want to talk about the next American with consistency? It's Tyler right now. and he really is playing well. I don't even include Shane in the conversation because we know what we're gonna get from Shane and we expect it, and he delivers. He hadn't won a major this year, but it wouldn't surprise either one of us if he was in a Final Four by the end of the year, right, Mike? I mean, is
Right.
that
Yeah,
right? So,
I think it's fair to
um,
say.
yeah, without a doubt. So, um, yeah, we'll see. Sky's definitely going to go into it with a lot of momentum, like Ashley says. And although she is a bit biased, I think she's very accurate because you have that kind of score line, that kind of break, that kind of execution. Well, now you're going to be playing on TV table for the rest of the event, young man, and it's going to be
Yeah.
yours to take the bull by the horns. You're going to have to play just as good, if not better, to beat either Dang or Kachi. I guarantee that because both of them are monsters and monsters. And yeah, I'd be really looking forward to that matchup. To be honest, if if somehow, some way, Pius and faces Mark, I ain't even watching that one, Mike. I'm not. I I watch all majors all mostly all the way through. I'm not even. I got no interest in watching that matchup at all, 0%. So I pray that we end up with that Federer does what Federer is
It's
supposed to
been a
do.
weird tournament, when you look at who you've seen playing the matches you didn't think you'd be seeing play, and
Yeah,
there's
but you
been a
could say
lot of that
Federer's
going
been the
on.
most consistent though, Mike. You look at his score lines and look at his matches. You can say
Yeah, yeah,
that kid has been the most consistent player from start to finish, not from wire to wire. Yes, there's been upsets and unknowns and goofy things
right.
have happened, but you want to talk about guys who
Well,
are
he's
just
you know he's
here,
kept himself away from allowing goofy things to happen. It's just get a lead, keep a lead, put the guy away. He's
put
hasn't
ball
had to
and
come.
hope,
He hasn't
put
had to come
ball
from
and hope.
behind. He hasn't had to fade someone's big comeback. He's just taking care of business. So he has had a pretty nice draw, but there's a lot of people would have said that Filler
Oh,
got a nice draw when he was playing Grand Float, right? And
we
look
all
what
know
that
what
look
happened
what
there.
happened to him. And
I love
the
how
same
when
thing
he
with
loses to that kid, the talks of, oh well, it's filler and carbon fiber all over again. No, the guy was in a semifinal of a World Ten Ball Championship not too long ago. I mean, every damn time that he loses, I mean, the kid could have just been on a heater. What are you gonna do?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
So
he still played pretty stout. So anyway, Mike, give me who you got from here, Mike. You know a couple of guys who are through now, but give me who you got from here.
what am I going to do? Ashley's on the damn thread.
Ashley, get out. You can't watch
Well,
anymore.
you know me.
Earmuffs, right? They say.
We're getting close to 4th of July, man. I'm going USA all the way.
Playing the homework card, Mike. Okay,
I
okay.
am.
Well, I hmm, I'm
You're
gonna
going
take.
Federer.
Well, yeah, yeah. I no. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna triple down. I'm gonna go Dang. I'm gonna go Dang to win his match with Kachi. I'm gonna go with Dang to break some hearts and take down Sky, and I'm gonna take Dang over Federer in the finals. I think Dang
Wow.
is yeah. I mean, if I wonder how much I can get on that kind of parlay, Mike. That would be pretty strong, So,
If
um,
that's the final four and you went with him all the way,
yeah.
uh,
Well,
yeah.
I'd pick him. He still has to get
Well,
through
now you're
Kachi
picking. You
first,
still got
because
to get through Kachi. So
yeah, he still has to
if
get
you
through
had picked
Kachi.
him at this point to
Yeah.
go through, yeah,
But
you'd probably get some pretty good
my
odds.
my heart is rooting for Sky. I'll say that. So and listen,
If your
everyone
heart and your
knows
money are in different places, then I got to
they are, but
question.
I
Sorry.
don't bet with my heart. That's for sure. To be honest though, if Ashes, yeah, I was close to picking Mark, real close. Uh,
Feast
to
or
be
bash for the
honest,
win.
no, I mean the odds on favorite is gonna be Federer to win out from here. Even if you were to stop the tournament, open the book, that's who's gonna be the favorite from here. From
Why?
who he's playing
Because you
right now.
think that he's playing the best, or because you think he's got the best draw to the final?
Both. But that draw is massive. That
Yeah,
draw
it
is
is.
very
It
weighted.
is.
That draw is
He's like
that draw
he's
is
a
the
head
real
and
deal
shoulder.
when it comes to being,
Yeah,
like you love that draw.
yeah.
You want
He's
to
a
talk about
heavy
falling
favorite to be in the final match right now. Heavy
massive,
favorite.
massive. Like it's he would be a favorite to get to the final. I don't know how to explain it. Like even though Mark's already in the semifinals, Federer's still more of a favorite to make it to the finals than
Yeah.
Mark is. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah. Sure.
So because it is by far his to lose. I hope that we get that Sky versus Federer final. I really do, because I would love to watch both those guys battle it out. They're good friends, and they got a lot of respect for each other's game. They've seen each other quite a bit, obviously, because they both play in the USA majority of the time. So,
Yeah. No, it would be a
I
fun final. I think those are that would be two guys who would just like turn it loose for us.
yeah, yeah. And who knows? I mean, listen, it's sports, and goofy things could happen, right? I hope Mark don't spoil the party.
Jesus,
I really, I,
you're like not gonna be. You're not getting
oh
any
man.
Christmas card from the Beaster Boss family this
Well,
year, buddy.
we're still fans first, Mike. Right? I mean, I know we're supposed to check this shit at the door, but I love. Listen, we got
Oh,
real spoiled this last event with having four marquee names in the final four. Right?
yeah,
It was no matter which way you put it, there was nobody was gonna be spoiling the party. And
it's
while
been that way a lot this year. It was that way with the World Ten Ball.
the World Ten Ball
Amazing
was
Final
a
Four.
amazing Final Four. Yeah, yeah, without a doubt. But we would love that, and we love seeing big names battle it out for championships. And for either one of those guys, like you said, there's a multiple of storylines and angles to
Great,
kind of talk
great
about it
stuff.
from.
Yeah,
So we shall see. Federer's got to handle Pius first, and it'll. I don't. I hope it's an interesting
it's gonna
quarterfinal,
be.
but
It'll be a great day tomorrow. I think so. I think there's gonna be it's gonna be some good action because I think we're gonna get the four guys we want, whether it's Kachi or Dang, either side that comes out of there makes it a
that
strong
Sky
final.
matchup is going to be. I
Yeah,
mean, it is going to be great no matter which one of those two that you put in there, because Sky's got a chance at redemption and a chance to be in the final, and of course, Dang, with being the Asian player, first tournament back from lockdown for however many years. There's a number of different ways to dissect it from. I'm really looking forward to it. So you're going Team USA all the way.
yep,
Um,
100%.
I'll say I'll go with Dang, but you guys can message me for action. I'll put it like that, and I may not take it. Anyway, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's been a fun show. It's been a great event. Kudos to Matchroom and their whole team. I love how they're expanding their coverage of side tables to their Instagram, to their TikTok, all the social media updates and interviews. Everything's just been top shelf. They've done a really phenomenal job of uh, 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 of putting on this event. It gets me even more excited for the World Cup. And by the way, I want to just get you out of here on this, Mike. Give me the team who's playing the best right now for the World Cup. The two best guys.
I'm still going with the Cobras.
I'd probably go with Team USA. We'll see you guys later. We appreciate everybody for tuning
And
in.
keep your eye on your notifications just in case Sky
Oh yeah,
pings
I'm I'm
Mike.
gonna send Sky a message. Hopefully after they get back from dinner, we'll get them on. Later, y'all.